Hey guys, this is Cheese. This is my first YouTube video focusing on Gears 5, mainly PvE and Horde content. A few weeks ago, I wrote a small document write-up on what I felt TC needed to do to improve the PvE experience and, more importantly, Horde. I want to start by saying that I think TC has built a solid foundation for Horde. I know people have mixed opinions on the class system, the heroes, especially the class lock system and restriction system, not being able to play as your preferred character and being restricted to only having one of each class in each game. I think that I see what TC was going for. I think it's a solid foundation. However, I think the game suffers a lot from a lack of content and from variety. I want to go through the list that I created as well as show some visual things to kind of better get my point across and see what you guys think, what the community thinks, and to get some feedback because I want our voice to be heard. I know there is a dedicated PvE fan base out there. I know there's a nice Horde community that want to see this game progress and get a lot better. I'm not really going to focus a whole lot on the characters in terms of the characters dropping in each operation. Everybody has their own thoughts about that with two characters every time. I'm not really going to touch on that. I'm not really going to touch on the store or the skins. There are people that can articulate those thoughts a lot better than me. So this is what I want to hit on. First things first. TC has said they are coming out with a roadmap. Now, I'm not 100% positive if that roadmap is coming for PvE or, as I assume, is probably coming for PvP. They are very, very shifted towards PvP for everything in the dev streams to what they focus on in the what's up, leaving PvE to take a back seat, so to speak. I am proposing a PvE centric roadmap detailing Horde events, character events, double XP events, the whole deal. I feel that's what we need. We have not had a Horde event since Jingle Juvies in December. They did, however, they did add Horde Frenzy. It was a nice change up to the pace 12-wave variant. However, they added that as a permanent feature, so it wasn't really counted as an event. We get PvP events almost every week, every other week, what have you. We need a Horde event. We need something. If they bring Jingle Juvies back, I was waiting for an Easter event or something like that, with unlimited poppers or something like that. Maybe they'll do that for July, 4th of July or whatever, but we need Horde events. We need variety, especially in this time when a lot of people were on lockdown. Everybody was playing on Xbox Live, playing on PC, playing Gears. This was the time to really kick off some Horde events. Also, you don't have to go into a whole lot of details about upcoming characters. I know TC is extremely reluctant to talk about future content. They make that point known on every single dev stream. They don't talk about future content. To have full transparency, at least give us something. I feel like you shouldn't wait until the week before an operation drops to finally tell us what's coming, and we're stuck with 11 to 12 weeks of just nothing. We know nothing. And I mean, even more so with Op 2 to Op 3, considering it lasted, 16 weeks? We waited until a week and a half before to realize we were getting Cole and Clayton, and then didn't even find out what everything was until I think a few days before. I feel like there should be more transparency there. I understand things change. I understand that you don't want to promise and overhype stuff and then you can't deliver it later and then the community has even more backlash. I get that. I 100% get that. But I feel like you should keep the community in the loop towards that. But I'm getting off on a tangent on that. I already touched on the Horde events. I feel like we should have more double XP events, character XP events. We've had 2 Horde events, I think. 2 double XP Horde events. I think we've had 2 double XP character for escape. I think we've had 1 for each operation. I feel it should happen more frequently. I think it should happen a lot more frequently. Also, I think this would be an interesting new way to hype it up for double card weekends. Have Horde or Escape or both. drop double the card drops, and or have it drop higher rarity, give you a greater chance to have higher rarity drops. I don't understand why TC doesn't incorporate this more so, and just instead of just weekly PvP events. I think you have a PvE community. Throw us a bone, throw us something. I think we should have more than one little XP event each operation, which are 3 months. But that's my thoughts on that in terms of the roadmap. I want to hear what you guys think in terms of having a roadmap, telling you what's coming, give us a little something on which characters are coming. We know probably Dom's coming, Paddock. These characters are coming. At least give us a hint. Throw us a bone on it. Now, the next big thing, which I know everybody wants to talk about, is your scrap. You see in my top right corner here, I have 5,600 scrap. A lot of people want you to be able to scrap duplicate cards. Actually, this probably isn't the best scenario. This isn't the best one for me to do. Let me go to LAHNI here. You see, I have 50 duplicate brawlers. I am more than ready for level 6 cards when they want to drop it. I can't do anything about it. And also our lovely epic score boost that I have no interest in using. I only upgraded it because I figured we're not getting scrap stuff for a long time. This feature was in Gears 4. There is absolutely no excuse, no reason this shouldn't have been in at launch. And the fact that we're still waiting for it now is unacceptable. And the excuse of, well, we don't want to let you scrap it because we may or may not give you level 6 cards, that isn't a viable excuse anymore. It needs to be put in the game. Give us something to where we can select how many we want to scrap, or make it where it will auto scrap after 20 duplicates. I feel like there's no reason it should be like this. We're 9 months after the release. There's no reason this shouldn't be in here. I have 34 extra increased melee damage on this. You see the amount of duplicates I have for a meal, and I rarely even really use a meal. I feel like that is it's not a good enough excuse for me in any way, shape, or form. One thing I've noticed, it's a very, very small thing, but a lot of people have noticed the alignment issue. Notice a small alignment issue, but I want to talk on these other points here. One of the biggest criticisms in HORDE and in PvE in general is character restrictions. You cannot have more than one character in your HORDE match or in your escape match. And I understand why this is. I get it, but I feel that they should lift the restriction on lower difficulties. I feel like if you're playing on beginner, you should not have to. If you want to be JD, you want to be Kate, you should be able to go wild and have 5 Kates. If you want to have 5 Jacks just going around zapping everything there is, go ham and have fun with it. I feel like they should have that. You see the alignment issue here. The pain, kills, assists, revives, damage done. It does not line up. This is more of a minor annoyance. Shouldn't really be that big of a problem to fix. It's just more of a making them aware of that. Not really going to spend a whole lot of time on that. Just wanted to show that off, to have a visual cue on that. But I feel like in terms of character restrictions, you should have that restriction on maybe Inconceivable and Master. That's fine. Maybe even custom lobbies shouldn't even have character restrictions, character locks. You should be able to do what you want in a custom game. Like I said, on Master, on Inconceivable, I get it. Maybe even turn that into a modifier for Master, meaning if you select this, you cannot have character restrictions. I think that would be a great solution to the problem. Let people play as they want to play. TC just said it over and over again. This is about how you want to play, but then you restrict us more than anything. Also, one that I know a lot of people talk about on Escape, when you play with Iron Man modifier on and you die, doesn't matter if you die in the first act or the second act, you automatically get returned to the lobby. You do not get returned to the pod like the others. People have been complaining about this since day one. It still hasn't been fixed. They're still working on it. I'm not going to pretend I know how easy that is to do in game development, so we give them a pass on that, but this needs to be addressed sooner than later. Next topic I'm going to get to is characters. I'm going to hit on one of these and then show exactly. I'm going to show exactly what I'm talking about in the background. A lot of the characters have minuscule card upgrades. Their upgrades go from 0.1%, maybe even a percent. It's all over the place, and it's frankly not good enough. I'm going to hit on FAHZ'S real quick on this top one. As you can see, FAHZ'S has a modified long shot card and a modified M-bar card. Both of them are practically the exact same card. They increase damage, minor level, both are level 3, so they increase damage by 17%, active effects by 7%. This goes into both the first topics I was talking about. These cards right here, this should be merged into one card. There should just have a modified precision weapon card that hits on the long shot, the M-bar, the Marxa. You could even throw the Boltok in there if you really wanted to go nuts with it. This way you're not equipping two cards to get a buff, and he doesn't even start with an M-bar. Granted, there's plenty of M-bars. You buy one from the fabricator, but I feel like this should all be one card. It should just be a universal card. This right here, the M-bar ammo capacity, gives you a few extra shots. I'm not really that big on this card. FAHZ'S has a perk that gives him extra ammo capacity, and it's universal. You can make this card universal to make it more worthwhile. I feel like this is not a good design. This is more restricting you to how you want to. It's not letting you play how you want to play. And also, this hits on the next topic with the minuscule returns. Going from level 3 to level 4 gives you an extra 2% damage and an extra 2% active effect. It's even worse when you flip over to Dell. You look at his gold card. Repairing gives him 2.5% stem. I need 5 duplicates to get it to level 4. You see how much scrap it costs, 12,000 scrap. It gives me an extra 0.1%. That is laughable. That is awful. This needs to be at minimum 0.5% to maybe 1%. His fortification reduction cost goes up from 25 to 28. His overclock locker, 23 to 25%. This is from level 4 to 5, 23 to 25%. These need to be minimum 5% per upgrade. And I feel like also going from level 1 to 2 should be a small upgrade. 2 to 3 should be a larger. 3 to 4 larger. And 4 to 5 being the largest. You need 10 cards to upgrade this. It should be more than 10 or than 2%. This one, undamaged fortifications do 8%. If you get 5, guess what? It goes up to 9%. And there are more than enough examples of this, of how minuscule the returns are. Also, Marcus needs a Venom card. Marcus is, I think, in a decent spot in HORDE. I think he's very viable. I think he's usable. Maybe could merge his custom Lancer card to use the Claw if you want to make it just all assault rifles. Maybe. But I feel like he needs some Venom cards to be more viable in Venom. Also, they talked about at launch, their goals was to have Kate, FAHZ'S, JD, and Dill, all OG characters in Escape. Obviously, Jack not in Escape. He can't hit the switch on the doors. He could cloak past all enemies, basically. It doesn't make a whole lot of sense. Understandable. I agree with that. That's fine. We need these people in Escape. This adds more variety to it. This would change. I think this would change the meta. However, Kate would probably be pretty OP in Escape. Kate can cloak. Kate does shotgun bleed. FAHZ'S has X-ray. He could literally clear a room out from a far away, although he would be pretty limited on long shot M-bar ammo, except for the newest Hive lethal engagements. I think that if they did that, Dell would need more combat cards to make him viable for Escape, because everything he has is put into him being an engineer. The next one, more cards for Emil, Kat, Sarah, and Grace. As you know, I do not have Grace. I do not feel like I should pay $14, even though it's on sale now. $13, $14 for one character that I may or may not use. But as you see with Emil only has 8 cards. Obviously, I'm not using Epic Score Boost. I'm not using Score Boost. He needs more cards. They did, however, add cards to Cat. I think in Operation 2. I don't know why I don't have the skill card equipped. But they did add a couple of cards. They added the I think it was Custom Snub, and the one, where is it at? The Hologram Extend, which are pretty cool. To make her a little bit more viable in Escape, I feel like they need to do a little bit more. Sarah Connor's my lowest character. I haven't really played as her because I don't see it. That's just me. I know that she has a extra grenade capacity, modified frag. I just don't see the benefit of using her. As you see, she's by far my lowest character. Making Venom cards usable for Scorpio Squad. As you know, Keegan, Mac, and Lonnie have Venom cards that buff their damage. For Keegan, he's able to resupply his explosive ammo for salvo, for torque bow, everything. Lonnie does bleed. Her melee does bleed in Venom. Mac does a lot more damage and takes less damage in Venom. I'm not sure how TC wants to tackle this. If there was a way to deploy Venom on the map, kind of a risk-reward kind of situation, I'm not sure how you would do that. Or to tweak their cards to be usable in Horde. Or just give them new cards and new buffs. I mean, that may be the only other solution that I have. And I'm curious to see how TC would tackle this. The next one, Keegan. Keegan does not have a launcher capacity card, as you know JD does. JD is able to get more for the torque bow. Well, actually, torque bow you can already get 10 with a torque bow. He has more for the drop shot, for the boom shot, and for the Freedom Lancer. Keegan only gets 3 for the Freedom Lancer. I feel like they should give him this. This would make him a little bit more in line with JD in terms of Horde, in terms of doing bleed with his Shredder card. And also, I said you can make it Horde only, so that way you do not feel so overpowered, and you can just keep running back and use an explosive resupply to give you 8 boom shots, which would make Keegan even more OP than he already is. Now, one of the changes I want to get some more feedback on, this one could be kind of controversial, is Cog Gear can revive down teammates. What if there was a way you could make his gold card? His gold card gives stem to those he revives. What if you could make it to where his gold card revive dead teammates? You would not have to run out and collect the cog tags. Obviously, Cog Gear would have to be alive to activate this ult. And it would revive the dead teammates and would automatically give them stem on top of it. This would be a Horde only, as I reiterate, a Horde only. You would not be able to use it in Escape, especially it'd be too OP with the Iron Man modifier on. Also, you still need to spawn in a pod. Or have us the Gears 4 option to where we can buy it in the Fabricator. It costs energy. You can revive the teammates. You can have it start out, 1,000 or 1,500 per teammate that's being revived, and it doubles or it goes up sequentially every time you use it. Maybe it starts at 1,000 per character. Next time you use it, it's 1,500. Next time it's $2,000, or make it $3,000 or something along those lines to balance it out so it's not super OP. Also, they did. Also, I want to hit on Jack. Jack, as of right now, is used as a smelt. Just smelting weapons, which they changed his optimizer card to make it. It was 200%. It only goes up to 150% right now. He does have a hijack ability. Explosive hijack's really great. It's wonderful to hijack somebody, run into a pile, detonate it, and kill everything. It is really entertaining to use. But other than that, his zapper is really the only weapon he has, and it's not really that great. It's okay, but it's not really that great. Jack is more used as smelting and reviving. That's pretty much what he's used for. And in the later waves, he is basically just used for revive. I propose making him similar to how he is in the campaign. Give him more combat cards. Let him be able to flash enemies. Let him be able to deploy shock traps on the field. Let him be able to give every teammate that's alive, obviously, stem. You could give him pulse. I don't really know how viable that would be. You'd have to give maybe all enemies that are pulse take extra damage. I'm not sure. And give it a cooldown. And you can have all these cards for him. Add all these cards. So this way, if you're messing around as Jack, you can make it more of a assault build. Or well, not really an assault, more of a support build. You're supporting your teammates. You're deploying shock traps to stop a bunch of juvies. You're deploying a flash, and it flashes everybody in a vicinity. Make it 10-15 meters. I'm not sure. So if a Scion or they break through the barriers, he's able to deploy it, and boom, there you go. It stuns everybody, and also he's able to give everybody stem. I think that would be a really interesting card. Give it a cooldown. Not able to use it, continuously. Now, the next thing that I want to talk about is a big deal to me. Is the drop rate. The drop rate that we have right now, as you see, you're on beginner, it's all greens. As you increase the difficulty, you see the rarity to start. Even if you're on, you have to get on experience, gives you barely any purple drop. Elite, advanced ups it maybe a little bit, elite a little bit. That's the first time you get a gold drop. Very, very rare to get one. Even on master, you see that it's about 40% green. And I don't know how many times you play a master, an inconceivable match, and you get 7 or 8 greens. It's very rare that you were to get 4 or 5 purples. I propose you adjust the rarity drop for inconceivable and master, make the purple a lot higher, make the blue a lot higher. I think the gold is okay because everybody, with the exception of Coltrane, only has 1 gold card, so your chances of getting it, if you get a gold drop, boom, you got the gold card. And it's usually the first card that I max on a bunch of characters, outside of greens, obviously. I propose this should be, over half of this should be blue. More of it, you should be at least about 50 to 60% blue, maybe 20 to 30% purple, a very small green chance. Your gold should be more than your green, in my opinion. Also, when you do a full 1 to 50 match on Horde, you are rewarded with 10 cards. If you do a Horde Frenzy, 1 to 12, provided you do the full 12, you get 4 cards. I feel like if you stay in the game for a full 1 to 50, you should receive more cards. I'm not sure how to implement this. My proposed solution is if you stay for a 1 to 10, you should get an extra card for every boss wave. That would give you 15 cards if you played the full 1 to 50. Again, this is to incentivize playing a full 1 to 50. Also, when you up the difficulty to inconceivable and master, I feel like you should be rewarded even more cards for completing a full 1 to 50. You should be, instead of getting the 1 extra card for a 1 to each 10 waves, I think you should get 2 cards, or either give you 2 cards for every 5 waves instead of the traditional 1. Again, this incentivizes staying for the 1 to 50. Also, a lot of people I have seen want some leaderboard rewards for the Horde, similar to how they have implemented it for Hive, for Escape. And I mean, you kind of see, you get XP, you get some little skins. It's kind of cool. I feel like they should do this for Horde. I think this would incentivize going for top scores, and you can change it up each operation. You can change it up each month or something like that. I just think give the players more that they can play for in terms of the higher difficulty drops. Now, one big thing that they need to do, especially for Horde, is the variants. They added Frenzy. It's in public, and it is excruciatingly frustrating, and I use that lightly, to play in Horde Frenzy in public. It needs to be available in custom. We were told that it was coming. It wasn't going to be available when Op 3 launched. They're putting it on all maps, which is fine, but I feel like we need to have a definitive date of when this is coming. They have Frenzy right now as a 12-wave variant. I feel like they should have a 24-wave variant too, to give you double drops. Maybe give you 6 cards, 6 to 8 cards, something like that. And once you combine that with the increased drops of doing a 1 to 50, that comes out about right. This rewards your time investment. There's no sense in doing a 2-hour 1 to 50 Horde and getting 10 cards when I can do a few frenzies and suffer through the public lobby to get 4 cards. The main thing they created with Horde Frenzy was to give you a 12-wave variant. A quick 12-wave takes you 30 minutes or so. I feel like the 24-wave variants, that perfect balance, maybe an hour, a little over an hour, it gives you a little more meatier experience. And, they can still do the boss waves every 4 waves, give you 2 bosses. That's fine. I'm perfectly fine with that. And then at the end, give you 3 or 4 bosses. A lot of people want an endless Horde variant. They feel like after 50, you just keep going. And I feel like Why not? Just keep it going. It just gets insanely harder. Maybe you start having random boss waves after 50. It's not a setup like every 5 waves. Or I should say, have mini bosses, random mini bosses. It's not predetermined, on 15, 25, 35, 45. Just have it random up until you get to 60, 70, 80, so on and so forth. And then the biggest one I see on the forums and on Reddit is a classic Horde experience. No cards, no heroes, no skills, no anything, no fabricator. You're put on the map, you survive with what you got and what the enemies drop. A lot of people want this. I feel like this should be added. If not in Gears 5, it definitely needs to be on the base game of Gear 6. And I may be being greedy here, but I say give us not only a 50 wave, give us a shorter 25 wave variant as well. I think that would go a long way into giving Horde the variety it needs. I want to hit on this with the leveling. Each character has 18 levels. As you can see, my Kate is maxed. I get no more XP. I don't get anything. I feel like the characters should keep going up. I know that TC is adding more characters, 2 characters every operation. I feel as if there should be more levels. I've maxed out almost every Horde character. I think that there should be some more levels and give some rewards past it. Maybe bumping it to 25, or maybe letting you re-up the character, go back through the levels again, and maybe give you higher card drops or give you passives. I suggest giving permanent buffs similar to how Borderlands 3 has their Guardian system. And for anyone that does not know what that is, this was your Guardian system. Once you rank max rank, which was 50 when the game first launched, and as you can see to the left, you have permanent bonus stats. You get passives. You get extra gun damage, extra health. Your health comes back a little bit faster. Your shield comes back faster. These are just ideas to what Gears could do. Maybe every time you level up, you could still have it be 60,000 XP if you really wanted to make it a grind. And people forgive me for saying that. You could have plus 2% gun damage, plus 2% health, plus 2% health regen. Anything. Plus 2% ultimate cooldown. Let you use 6 cards. Let you use all the cards once you hit a certain level. I feel like there's a lot of things you can do to increase the longevity of leveling up these characters. And I think that these are things that TC should look at in terms of balancing it. They've had some balance. Well, with the one balance pass for Op 3, I think it needs to be more frequent. We need to hear more about PvE. We need to have a definite roadmap to see where they want to go. I think there's a lot of stuff they can do to make the Horde experience and the PvE experience in general a lot better. One thing I do want to talk about that was not in the list is I am glad, however, that they added the lobby browser. I think this was one of the best things they added. It's not 100% perfect, and so you can go in and filter. You can filter the map. You can filter the difficulty and the amount of players. I think this is a great addition. And you're also able to host a public, a private, and you're able to go in here and select your settings. There are some people that really generally just do not know this. You're able to go in, fill it with bots. You can select the wave you want to start on. Obviously, for the map options, you're able to do this for all fathers just because of the way the map's laid out. You can select if you want it in your lobby browser, if you just want to be private and don't want anybody to bother you. Obviously, change the lobby name, which you see mine's Please Have a Clue, because I just... yeah. You understand, if you've played Horde and Escape, you understand the teammates. They also have the same thing for Escape. My only issue with this is you do have the master run, but as you see, there are a lot of the clock, the surge, and actually this one actually isn't as bad, but you see the farm. These are what a lot of people do, and then you have the lower difficulty with people that are trying to do the tour, do challenges, do certain stuff like that, or just farming XP, farming totems. There are a lot of these for the lethal engagement since this is the new hive. People are trying to master it, get 5%, so on and so forth. I feel like this could be a little bit more better. I'm not sure how TC wants to handle this. Most of the time when you go into the browser, you see the clock, the surge, speed runs on Insane Inconceivable. It is how people grind the cards, how they farm them, how they farm XP. It is a little aggravating. You have to play a new hive when it comes out. That's usually when it's pretty prevalent in the lobby browser. They also have, some people don't know, as you can see, the skills. You see the skill cards remaining. See, it says to the right, it says 6 out of 30. These are extra cards you get for completing it. Obviously, on the higher difficulty you get the better drops and you get the extra cards. A lot of people do not know that. I have not hit 5% on this hive yet. I'm going to be working on that. If anybody wants to help me out, shoot me a message on Cheese Cutter on Xbox. Would love to run this on Inconceivable or Master. But that's going to do it for me today, guys. I appreciate you guys listening to it, and give me any feedback, constructive feedback you got. I'd love to talk about this more. I am a very big PvE player, particularly with Horde, and I would love to get any feedback you guys have on what you guys want to see, what you think of my ideas, your ideas too. Just let's come together. Let's give TC all the feedback we can. And I mean that's what we can do. What they choose to do with it, that's up to them. I want to see Gears 5 thrive. I think it can be a really, really great game. It just, Horde needs content, it needs variety, it needs some TLC, it needs it bad if it's going to survive. I mean, with no events, these are the only options you have. And hopefully Horde Frenzy comes in soon. That we need somebody to say something with it. Hopefully we have a PvE stream where we can actually get some answers and actually hear more than we can't talk about it. And hopefully that's where we're headed towards. Hopefully the changes are coming. TC keeps promising it. I didn't hit on a lot of areas in terms of character skins and the totems and what have you. A lot of people have articulated that stuff a lot better than what I can. I wanted to circle around the feedback around what we can do in terms of improvements for the PvE side of things. So, appreciate you guys watching. If you feel I've deserved it, subscribe, give me a like, give me some feedback. If you want to find me on Twitter, I am at CheeseCutta, all one word. And I'll catch you guys on the next one.